Welcome to the SnoWest show. This is going to be a quick little initial sled review of the 2024 Ski-Doo Freeride Turbo R146. Like how wild is that sled?
So fun.
I can't believe how many people actually bought that thing. Like there are so many 146s out there, but it's cool. It just goes to show what happens when you get aggressive. Ski-Doo getting aggressive and putting out a turbo 146 like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we jump into the show. Let me read off our sponsors here. We got a couple great sponsors helping us out here with the SnoWest show. The SnoWest show is brought to you by Polaris Snowmobiles. Polaris Pro and Chaos RMKs are engineered for, do you guys remember? 3 things. What are they engineered for?
You just said them. Getting up on the snow quick.
Instant lift.
Instant lift.
Effortless control. And immediate response.
Immediate
and flickable.
response.
Flickable's number 4.
Effortless control.
Oh, flickable's 4.
Flickable. Check out the 850 RMK now in stock at your local Polaris dealer. There are some smoking deals out there. And now that it's finally snowed, I think some of these are going to get gobbled up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But you could probably still get your hands on a brand new Boost, brand new 9R, or take your pick of the 850 in-season models. But lots of Polaris has had some rebates and incentives going on. Check your local dealer. Go out and see what's in stock. Also sponsoring the show is a new sponsor located in Big Sky, Montana, 5 minutes away from Buck Ridge and Carrot Basin. We were close to Carrot Basin this year up there at Cabin Creek. Good country. Not a lot of people ride this area. 320 Guest Ranch offers lodging and accommodations for your next snowmobiling trip. Pack up your gear and rent a single cabin for yourself or a large cabin with a full kitchen for you and your friends. The 320 Guest Ranch is a great place to call home for your next adventure. And go to 320ranch.com to check out availability and look at some pictures, see their cabins, figure out where these guys are at. They're off of Gallatin Road up there in Big Sky Country in Montana. Thanks to Polaris Snowmobiles and 320 Guest Ranch for coming on the show. So let's talk about
Ski-Doos now.
Let's talk about Ski-Doos.
Polaris being our sponsor, let's talk about Ski-Doos.
Let's talk about Ski-Doos. So you guys, particularly Brock and Bruce, you guys have been on the 24 Freeride 850 Turbo R, but we're going to talk about the 146. You guys have spent quite a bit of time on that. In fact, I haven't even seen it yet. I've seen a picture of it.
Yeah, where is it? Where is it, Bruce?
It's right in front of me. Right in front of me.
You're standing there looking at it.
On it as we speak.
Sitting on it, yep.
So talk about that sled. I mean, obviously the conditions so far haven't been great up until this week, but
They've been good for that sled. The conditions have been great for that sled. You get back in the trees, prior to these storms even, we found some really fun stuff for that sled.
So why do you say that sled though? Just shorter track?
Yeah, the shorter track, and it's like you said, that sled's a party, and that sled is still a party. It was a party even with the snow conditions not being that great.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of posts about it, and maybe that's part of it. Is the snow conditions kind of lend itself to where it's a fun sled to ride when it's deep, but it's also kind of a fun sled to ride even when it's not. You still ride wheelies, you can still jump off of stuff real easy. It's just a lot of fun to ride. So
yeah, I was kind of glad we had that sled for these conditions, because we rode it in the really deep stuff last year. Last spring, BRP took us out, and it was real deep, and now we're riding in semi-moderate conditions. Actually, terrible conditions, and the sled's fun. What do you think, Bruce?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I hate to say this word on a Ski-Doo, but it's pretty flickable. No, it handles like a snowcross sled. I feel like. I mean, I don't do a lot of snowcross, but it's short, nimble. I mean, it's got power. That day I rode it, and I took my boy. Like the next day, my arms were sore from hanging on. So it's always a good thing. But no, I've always been a fan of Ski-Doo's power, and you throw that shorter track on that shorter lug. Like Brock said, the snow conditions suck, but this thing made the snow conditions good, if that makes sense. So
what do you mean by Ski-Doo power? Like describe that.
Just the way they transfer the power to the track, and there's no turbo lag. Things just work. You give it the throttle and you're going, and just the consistency of the turbo and the smoothness of it. I mean, it makes it a lot of fun in the trees when you want to get around a tight tree, the turbo just always seems to be on point, I guess, wherever you are in the trees or on the flats or everything just seems to work. So it's a really fun sled. Highly recommend it.
So what do you feel when you ride that 146 versus like a 154? Like how big of a difference in handling and control and front end height and all that?
Yeah, like control, it takes a little bit to get used to because you are shorter track. You're not turning as much, so it does come around. It'll stand up a lot easier. Like say snow conditions, you could hook up good. So I don't, as far as comparison to deep snow, can't really do that. But it just seems more nimble. It definitely seems like a short track. Back in the days when you rode the 121s versus the 136s down the trail, like. It's just easier to ride, easier to throw around. Yeah, it's a fun sled. Like I would consider it in my lineup if you know what I mean. As one of the top sleds.
It's funny that comment you made about some of the older sleds. Like if you go back far enough, a mountain sled was a 136.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the really long mountain sled was 141.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so
with inch and a half lug.
Yeah, so it's still a legit track length.
It is.
We've just gotten so used to 165s and 154s and 155s that it feels short. But Brock, when you and I rode last February with Ski-Doo in crazy deep snow, like it was fun going back and forth between the 54 and the 146 turbo freeride, and the 54 would stand up, but not just like at the blip of the throttle like a 146 will, and I feel like it was a little harder to keep the nose down on the 46.
Yeah.
Like it's just up. Like if you're on the throttle, that thing is standing up.
Oh, for sure. In fact, the day I rode, I happened to take both. I took the 154 expert and then the 146 free ride. So I rode them both, and that 146. You're standing. Your skis are up.
Yeah.
I mean, all the time.
Yeah, in deeper snow, you're going to be riding wheelies everywhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which is fun, but unless you want to go places, and then then I do think Well, I'm not saying you can't get there. You're just going to get there at a different angle. Instead of like this, you're going to be straight up, and it just keeps going. It never seems to stop, but it's just a different ride for sure.
Well, it's fun
because the cool thing about it, it seems to even get up on the snow, even with the short track and the smaller lug.
Yeah.
I feel like it even, unless you're just cobbing on it from the get-go, but I feel like it even comes up on the snow and stays up. So even with the shorter track.
What'd you say? Cobbing on it?
Cobbing on it. Have you ever heard that?
No, can't say I have.
You got to go back to that deal.
You got to come to my neck of the woods. We're cobbing things all day.
Yeah, I would imagine that if they put a 3-inch track under that, it would not be as good. It'd probably just trench and dig down. That 2.5-inch Ski-Doo track does a pretty good job of getting on top of the snow.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Any other questions, you two, that haven't been out on that sled yet?
Not yet this year.
Okay, I got a question. Can I borrow it from you?
Yeah, let me check my schedule. So
like you got some kind of rental schedule on this thing that I can go sign up for?
Yeah.
Brock, Bruce has got a hidden storage area where you can't find it.
I've only got one in my shop. He's got like 4 in his.
I got 3. Calm down. One of each brand.
I had 2 the other day, and then I rode with him, and he took one of them.
Yeah.
So it's like he's just a
gotta
hog.
watch him.
Yeah, he's just a sled hog.
Well, if you guys would go riding instead of sit at your office playing Winky Dink, I'd let you ride one.
Farmers.
Oh, yeah. How about we, do you need some partners up there in the old farming setup?
Yeah.
Yes. I can't pay you, but come on up. For sure.
Oh, whatever. You could pay
I'll
us.
get an extra chair and you can sit here and drink Pepsi with me. So
I did notice on that free ride, though, how fun it was coming out. It was about a 7-8 mile ride out, and
it wasn't fun going in.
Somehow, no, because I let someone else lead going in, and they were on a longer sled, and so I just kept my distance or whatever. But somehow I ended up in the front, and I think I was back to the pickup 5 minutes before everyone else rolled in, and I'm not like Ryan. I can't just bomb the the ruts like he can, but I hauled butt coming out of there, and it was fun coming out of there
That's what I think
on that sled.
That's what I think is fun about these 46s is you don't have to journey as far back into the backcountry to find stuff to call it a ride.
Yeah,
You can have fun the second you leave the truck.
Yeah.
And you can go 5 miles in, you can go 1 mile in, you can go 10 miles in, and you can have fun everywhere you're at because you can just make that sled dance and do whatever you want.
yeah. I guess I was just pulling away from them on the trail coming out. They're like, how'd you do that? I'm like, it's a 146. Like you just hit it, you just go. And it just
Did you say, do you not know who Broc Genta is?
Yeah, I started. They won my
well, and that front end, the way that they've done that on the Freeride, it does handle that really well.
Eats them.
It was a lot of fun last spring.
Yeah, those bigger shocks, and it eats up those whoops really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that's a playful sled. It does remind me of a race sled, like a fun snowcross sled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But capable in the mountains.
Because you can just cob it. You can just cob it all the way down.
Cob on.
Notice I didn't use the word cob when I was coming out there.
Yeah, you can cob it in, you can cob it out. Like,
Yeah, cob it all around. I mean, doesn't matter.
I mean, I'm new to this word, so I'm just. Am I doing it right?
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. You come hang around me. You'll you'd go ride with me. You'd learn a few more.
Learn some new uses.
I would. What else? I had another comment on that 46 though. I don't know. It's. I just remember it from last year when I rode it last year. It was just such a fun sled that I. Oh, I know what I was going to say.
And it still is fun. I can tell you.
We got used to these NA 165s and even like the 175, 174s. We went so long and we went into this category of how do we make a big footprint and stay on top of the snow. And the sleds got so hard to ride and so heavy, and they were hard to maneuver and
Trees.
get up on an edge and everything. And you really felt like you had to put an hour into getting back into the deep, deep backcountry, untracked snow and all this stuff to feel like, okay, now I'm in this sled's element. Now I can go ride it.
Yeah.
And it sucked going in, and it sucked coming out.
Yep.
But for the hour that you were in there riding, it was a blast.
Yeah. I think that's why when you asked, which one would you go with, I mean, the 146 would be a lot of fun. But the 154, I think, has always stood out to me as kind of that. If you just had to pick one sled, I mean, it'd be way fun in and out on the bumps for the trail riding that you had to do. But, again, you could just pick just about anywhere to go ride, and it would be in its element. It'd be a lot of fun. So
yeah, the 54 is definitely more forgiving overall. But I think if you're up for a challenge, like if you've gotten bored and your season is a little stagnant, if you switch to a 146, you are going to have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're going to get more of a workout.
Yeah.
But you look at like Steve Martin's videos, that's all he's been doing is a Turbo R 146.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't all ride like Steve Martin, but holy crap, that looks fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, it'd be tough to go back to a 165 or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I ever want to get back on one, to be honest with you. These 155s and 46s take you places you shouldn't be anyway, So it's kind of interesting how we went from need more power, longer track to now really a lot of power to shorter track. And things are still working awesome.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, for sure.
pretty cool.
All right. Well, you guys have any other comments on that?
No, we just need to
keep
go
this
ride them.
short and, yeah. Yeah, I'll put in a request to borrow that and get out on it sometime.
Yeah, let me know. I got a lineup. So.
You got a busy schedule, huh?
Yeah.
Long line for that thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can teach me how to cob it.
Okay. Yeah. Come on up. We'll have cobbing class.
Do I need to bring anything for the cobbing class?
No. I've got all. I've got everything.
He's got all the sleds.
Well, that conversation could go south in a hurry. Good times.
All right. Well, Justin Stevens, Broc Genta, Bruce Kerbs, thank you for coming on the show, talking about this 24 Ski-Doo Freeride. We'll try to do more of these in-season reviews. We've got a full fleet of test sleds. Speaking of track lengths, everything we did this year is 146 or 155. We didn't do any 165s or 154. Same thing. Like a Polaris 155 is a 154.
Is a 154.
Yeah. But they wanted to keep their numbers different. track pitches can't change everything.
Huh.
So yeah, watch for more of these independent sled reviews, recaps as we get into the season. And now with snow, like we're under a blizzard watch right now. What'd you say, 1 to 7 inches? Woohoo!
Yeah.
That's in town.
Yeah, it did say 5 to 10 in the mountains.
The mountains have been getting hammered though.
They have.
It's looking good. We need to get out there.
Yeah, there's good snow. Definitely good snow up there.
All right, next week's the week.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, thanks guys.